Nigeria has become a nation of questionable character.
Tinubu is doing what he likes, and your man will never believe you.
It is not a matter whether the Igbos are going to be part of APC. APC has become a threat to Nigerians.
Skin all of them.
The leadership that are showing, example that are showing us in Nigeria is radicalizing our Nigerian youths.
America is number one. Currently, Nigeria has gone down.
Why are we not hearing the voices of Gani Adams? Why has Gani Adams just simply gone underground? Why is it that Gani Adams is not speaking? These are people who we believe that holds the key to transformation of the black man. Muhammadu Buhari led Nigeria into the gutters of terrorists and bandits. Good afternoon, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you're watching us from. We are reporting live on this platform, talking about Suma Studio. That's where we are now this beautiful morning to give you an in-depth analysis on developments around where we are. Currently now, we are in a place called Center of Excellence, somewhere in West Africa. I don't want to mention names for now, but let us go straight to the business of the day. Please continue to share, subscribe, and also watch this video. Our plan and our target and our mission is to, reactivate and activate an African youth or youth of Africa to understand the era we are now. That it is no longer going to be we sitting on the fence, waiting for the Western world or waiting for the IMF, waiting for the World Bank to now tell us what is going to happen in our continent or in our respective countries in Africa. Welcome again, as I tell you, and keep on to share this video and watch this video for understanding and knowledge. First of all, we are not here to attack any region, to attack any religion, to attack any tribe, or to attack any race. We are here to define the identity of the Black Africa. That's what we are here, and that's what mainly we are here. Thank you for having me on this platform this morning. I am reporting live from the Center of Excellence this morning. Let me give you an insight on the development we are looking at today. It's centered on what is happening in Nigeria. Nigeria currently now has been reported by different newspapers this morning indicates that Nigerian economy is gloomy, is heading towards doom. And of course, we have seen, maneuvering, struggle, trial and failure of the APC government. Well, the Shehu Sani has come out to say, it is true, that Muhammadu Buhari led Nigeria into the gutters of terrorists and bandits. Does it mean that Nigeria was handed over to a terrorist or a bandit? I do not understand some kind of statement coming from our leaders, that is not quite okay, that is not quite encouraging, that does not define anything, does not even ignite inspiration in any form. Nigeria as an entity, as a nation, has so far been distanced by the Nigerian citizens and the youth. The youth so far are seen, are believing or believed that Nigeria has become a nation of questionable character. What do you mean by that? That's what we are talking about today. In Nigeria, we can barely have 24/3. And okay, let's just talk about, just tell me what the sector of the economy that is working. Light, road, industry, industrialization. No, virtually everywhere seems to be struggling against each other. All the sectors in Nigeria, be it NEPA, be it transportation, be it economy, is struggling against each other. That's the kind of nation we find ourselves. And the light has continued to illuminate. Those who are revolutionaries in the country must stand firm. Why are we not hearing the voices of Gani Adams? Why has Gani Adams just simply gone underground? Why is it that Gani Adams is not speaking? These are people who we believe that holds the key to transformation of the black man. I'm not talking about Nigeria. When the time comes, the Nigerian youth must stand up and rediscover whether they're going to be called Nigeria or whether they're going to be called by who they are. That's the question of another day. And I look at the political development. We have seen the Gaduje, led national chairman of APC, stepping his foot in the entire Biafran land, stepping his foot in the eastern part of the country, and telling them different cock and bull story. Bro, this is not a matter of political party. It is not a matter whether the Igbos are going to be part of APC. APC has become a threat to Nigerians, a serious threat to Nigerians. Whether it's being sabotaged, whether the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu is being sabotaged by a certain interest. As I'm speaking to you now, there's a lot of things surrounded in that. And finally, before we go on this platform, as we touch on these issues, kudos to Kenyan youths, kudos to Nigerian youths, wherever they are, we are celebrating you. The consciousness is coming. The quest to transform Nigeria and Africa by African youth and Nigerian youth is ongoing. And of course, we condemn the assassination attempt on the former most powerful man in the world, talking about Donald Trump. We are also the presidential candidate of the Republican Party. There was an assassination attempt by a young boy of about 20 years called Crooks. Cruz was being radicalized by socialism. Although FBI has done a lot of investigation in that regard, and they find out that he is not linked to any terrorist organization. Crooks is a victim of social radicalization. Fortunately for Donald Trump, and fortunately for Americans, fortunately for the American security services, it was being reported that residents spotted Crooks climbing the building with gun. They quickly alerted the police. And when they alerted the police, the American police security services was on the trail of that boy. They said that boy is 20 years from Pennsylvania in America, and also a registered member of the Republican Party. A white boy, completely a white boy, and he was being monitored. And when the guns started coming, the American security services, did the needful. That is what they are trying to do. They brought the president down. They pushed the president to the knees. And that was how the president escaped as the bullets were, being driven towards his direction as a result of that gunshot. And in less than 5 minutes, the young boy was being killed immediately by the American security services. What does that tell you? It tells you, that to an extent, from the angle of Nigeria youths, that has been radicalized by bad governance, has been radicalized by the understanding that you do not need to operate, you do not need to transform unless you are corrupt. That's the understanding. The leadership that are showing, example that are showing us in Nigeria is radicalizing our Nigerian youths. A social succor is trending in Nigeria. Bet Nigeria, name them. All the things that can make Nigerian youth not to be philosophical, not to be reasoning, as what is being thrown to the Nigerian youths. And these things over time will radicalize Nigerian youth to an extent they become a threat to the society. How do the Nigerian government going to be handled that? Time will tell. But for us to save the soul and the spirit of humanity, of identity, of who we are, it's either we balkanize Nigeria for every region to stand to defend itself. Defending itself is, give yourself cultural and traditional identity. That's what I mean. But if you continue to leave it like this, then there's reasons, millions of reasons, why the African youth, like what is happening in Kenya, Nigerian youth must stand up to defend and give Nigerians identity. Thank you for coming on this platform. We promise you more in-depth analysis, on the development surrounding you and me as you continue to push for the development of the African youth. Not even Nigeria. I'm talking about the black man must get that transformation right. Thank you for watching and God bless you. I'll meet you next time on this platform. Super Studios. God bless you.
Thank you for having me on your platform. Looking at what transpired in the United States of America, where a 20-year-old boy attempted to assassinate a former president of the United States of America, I'm talking about Donald Trump, and trying to look whether it is because of the way the mind of the boy was shaped. Because definitely, however I look at it, I think that is a different act. But again, I think the boy haven't crossed 18 years and is 20 years old. I don't think it's a function of what he decided to do as a person. I think he knew the implication of what he was doing, and it was not because perhaps the society did not shape his mind right. Because if you had allowed him to explain the reason he attended that murder attempt, assassination attempt, of course, he have reasons, though his reasons may not be justified. But bringing it back to Nigeria to look at the state of Nigeria vis-a-vis the way Nigerian youths are being radicalized, I think there are two different things. Because the areas you find Nigerians who are majorly radicalized are in the north. You understand that in the northern part of the country, the government did not make attempts to send people to school, thereby leaving them vulnerable to be recruited, to be radicalized by terrorists, Boko Haram, ISWAP, name it. But for the boy in question, he may have gotten all the best of education because their system allows everyone, irrespective of financial background, to get educated. So I don't think the reason he did that may be because he was not opportune to get a good education, and it's quite different from what they have in Nigeria. Because in Nigeria, the government virtually abandoned their role of molding the child, of educating the child. Because if you look at it from the psychological point of view, the newly born child, psychology sees the brain as a tabula rasa, a clean slate on which the caretaker writes anything he or she wishes to write. So to that extent, we are getting it wrong in Nigeria. That's why in Nigeria, majorly, we always call on our religious leaders, our traditional institutions, traditional rulers who are perhaps the role, who are supposed to be the custodian of role model of the people. But unfortunately in Nigeria, we are seeing a situation where children are often abandoned and at the mercy of criminals, bandits, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and all that. So for me, I think there is a clear difference between what is happening in Nigeria and what transpired in the United States of America, where we saw that 27-year-old boy try to shoot Donald Trump. Though, going by what their Secret Service did, the boy was quickly neutralized, and I think that ended the whole issue. Thank you very much.
Our public office holders, disgruntled politicians in Nigeria, doing whatever they like, exploiting our economy, stealing and embezzling our money, and nothing happens. Today, a good president. Yesterday, there was an attempt on Trump's life. Trump nearly was killed yesterday by a youth, 20-year-old. The intention behind the dastard act is still unfolding. I listen to me, but all I know is that his father, the father to Mr. Crooks, spoke well about his 20-year-old son. But nobody knows who sent him. The Secret Service agents are still working, investigating to unravel or unearthing what happened actually. Why Matthew Crooks had to do what he did. So what I'm trying to say is that you've seen the range Nigerians have gone, Nigerian youths, matured men, to endure our political leaders who have subjected this country to serious exploitation, stealing money, buckling public pay, paid taxes, without punishment, with impunity. Nobody asked them how. This president, ex-president, American ex-president, he did well. See, somebody went after his life. Those people that stole money, those people that killed people, those people that supported planning herdsmen terrorism, they are free walking in their various, homes in Niger. Buhari goes to Niger, shuttle between from Sokoto to Niger to Lagos. Nobody will come and ask him how. But in America, if you make a mistake, somebody should walk straight to you and ask you how. So what I'm trying to say is that the motive behind the shooting is still, the investigation is a process to know what happened between or transpired between the crooks and the Trumps. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Nigeria is quite a different place, very, very different from America. We can never equal the range of development in Nigeria with that of USA. So that society is an advanced society. Nigerian society is like what was going on in the Dark Ages. I'm talking about 13th century, 14th century, 15th century, and so on and so forth. We are too much backward. We can never be like them. Currently, America is #1. Currently, Nigeria has gone down. That's why what is happening here is going on. What Nigerian presidents, ministers, governors, public office holders have been perpetrating in this country is enough to skin all of them if it will be in the Western world. But Nigerian man can endure it because of tribalism and ethnicity. A Benin man will never allow a Benin governor or president to die. An Asian governor will stay because Asians will support him. He can loot every public treasures in Edo State because it's from Asia. An Anambra man will not allow his brother to be killed. Yoruba man, you can see, Tinubu is doing what he likes, and Yoruba man will never believe him. If you like, cry, shout, Yoruba man will say, leave him home. It's from Yoruba land. Let us endure a bag of rice, 100,000. It's from our local. Let us pray for him. I watched a preacher telling Nigerians to pray for Tinubu. Pray for Tinubu so that Tinubu will restructure Nigeria. Do we need to pray for him? Does he know? Tinubu knows whether we exist or not exist. Oga, we are busy dying of hunger. Tinubu is building house for Chetima, 14 billion at FCT. Oga, these are people stealing our public funds. What is it that Trump did that warrants assassination attempt on his life? Still remain power. Let me tell you. How much was it? Still remain unsolved, unresolved. Because nobody has known what would this trigger that kind of song. All of them are no shame in that ball. To demonstrate the courage he had. He has summoned to shoot a whole ex-US president. Oga, what is behind this Mr. Matthew Cruz, intention? Is what is still baffling humanity today. Across the earth, everybody is asking questions, whose answers will still come later. Thank you so much. Thank you.